today, my friends, I thought I would work on a journal spread because you know what? That's what I need to be doing right now. I know, Jerry, me too, that red. It's like it's the naphtha red light. And I'm well familiar with golden colors because I'm a golden artist educator, but I guess I don't pull this one out enough. I tend to go with an earthier red in my work, and I pulled this one out and made this, and I'm like, oh, that red is the bomb. The bomb. So anyway, it's a great color. So today I thought that I might do something just in my journal, play loosely around the topic of, I don't know, love or whatever, or Valentine's Day, what we're celebrating today. I want to get my spray bottle. And I have some things set out here. What I did was I went through my stash before we came on because I didn't want to waste my time with you guys going through my stash. But just to refresh, this is what I typically do. Well, first of all, I started with some gesso here. And I started with my Daniel Smith gold gesso because I do love the way it pops up from underneath. And I thought the gold and the pink and I kind of wanted to use pink and red and white and gold. Very limited color scheme today. So, oh, you guys are going to Carolyn's. I am so jealous. Jealous, jealous, jealous. You're going to have a great time, though. So I'm so happy for all of you who are going. Yeah, it's the one at Ephemera, Carol. Yeah. So I'm sure it's going to be grand. All right, so typically what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of gesso down. Lately, I'm putting less gesso. So here I didn't even do solidly across the whole page. I like the way when you work further on the page and it hasn't all been gessoed, it receives the paint differently in each area, and you can create very interesting effects with that. So that's one of the reasons I've stopped using a full coverage of gesso. I'm going to use my old grody looking palette, my book block here, as the palette. And I've got a couple paper artsy colors. If you're not familiar with them, I'm using them because they're fresco finish, which is like a chalk paint. So, yeah, I was thinking about it too, Karen. One of the reasons I thought I would do kind of, well, not the same. Of course, it's going to be very short as opposed to a long class, but these are chalky paints, and it gives you that dry, that matte finish, so your pages will not stick together. So these two are paper artsy, fresco finish, heavy cream, and blush. And then I'm going to also put some of this golden naphtha light, the red light down here. Now, some of you might be thinking, oh my gosh, I don't use gold in my journal normally. Well, here's the deal. If you're going to use your golden paints in your journal, they might be a little sticky because they are super, super high quality acrylics and they do not dry down to matte finish. So if that happens, you have options. You can lightly sand it. You can put a little glaze of matte medium on top of it, or maybe wax it. I mean, there's tons of things you can do to your page to prevent that. I'm not going to worry about it right now because I'm going to mix it, the golden, with these matte paints. So therefore, it won't be its usual level of sticky, if that makes sense. So anyway. All right, and I have some collage components laid out here. I'm going to spritz them on both sides off camera, and I do that to loosen the paper fibers because it really does loosen them up and helps them to stick to the journal page better. And I'm going to try to get myself out of the opposing corners this morning. Look at that. Look at that. They come in all varieties, Jerry. I tend to buy the opaque ones, and I can't even tell you why. I think probably because the goldens are so lovely and transparent, and I feel like I already have all those those colors covered. If you're interested in a lot of paper artsy paints, you need to call my friend Kristen at Ephemera Paducah, and she'll walk you around the store. You can do a Facebook with her, and then you can pick out colors for yourself, because they really are wonderful paints. And she's got, no, they don't sell them on Amazon, Joni. Seth Apter sells them online. I don't know who else, but anyway, I know you can make an appointment with Kristen too, because they have about a gazillion colors. And they're these small, they're really small bottles, but I think they last pretty long. Little on the pricey. I mean, they come from France, so for that small bottle, it's more than you might expect, maybe $5 or $6, but I find them to be very worthwhile and definitely worth the expenditure. I like them a lot. So, so these are opaque right here. Opaque, opaque. They're marked on the front, just like other paint brands, and they do have transparent ones, and they have semi-transparent ones. But like I said, I tend to just buy the opaque ones because I just really like them. So anyway, all right, I'm going to add a little bit of their color called Heavy Cream, and I'm adding it to the Naphthol Red, and I'm just going to start to develop a few little layers here as I put components down. I'm going to do things a little different today. I'm going to shake it up and paint and collage and do it all at the same time, because you know what, why not? And I'm going to just keep blending it out. Seth Apter has paint colors with Paper Artsy too, and so he does carry a bunch. Waverly chalk paints. Interesting, Amy. Haven't seen it. Haven't seen it. So I'll have to check it out. Oh, do they? Thanks, Kim, for sharing that about joggles. Good idea. Didn't think of that. All right, so I have other collage bits here. This is something that was with last month's Collage Club. Tearing the edges off because I want it to be more more raw looking. I'm going to spritz it again front and back because it's pretty thick paper, and I do like how this loosens the paper fibers. It's not X's and O's, but it reminds me of that. Waverly is at Walmart. Man, I'm learning all sorts of things from you peeps today. How interesting. Waverly, I'm assuming you mean like the home decor Waverly. I used to have, remember when wallpaper was all the rage back in the day? I had like 3 or 4 kinds of Waverly wallpaper in my kitchen. The patterns and patterns. Comes honest, guys. I've loved patterns for all my life. Just can't get enough. All right, so I'm just tearing and gluing down. Hey, Janine, how are you? Oh, look at that. That ledger paper was with some blue ink that's obviously not permanent. Look how fun that is, right? I'm going to try to put it down here at this corner and try not to touch it, so perhaps it will stay there and dry. We'll have to see. I'm going to touch the edge here. All right. Let that sit. It's pretty. You just never know sometimes, right? Yeah, I know wallpaper is coming back. But you know what? Why not just stencil your walls, people? I mean, because it's a lot of work, but if you're talking about wallpaper, that's a lot of work too. And if you removed wallpaper down the road, or if you became tired of it, that's a lot of work. So, whereas paint is just a little bit different, so not as much, I think. So anyway, that's all I'm thinking. Natalie Kolbach has been doing some stencils, stenciling on her walls in her home, and I am so intrigued by it. She contacted us for a special because she's one of our our artist, and we adore her so much, we made one of her stencils into a real large size so that she could use it in her house, this new house they're redoing, and it's looking good. All right, I've got all kinds of little doodads here. I have no plan, as you can see. Right? There is no plan today. Did you, Carol? I have done some stenciling on our walls in our home, but not a ton. I tend to just do a little bit. I've never done a whole room. Good Lord, it's a big commitment, right? So I just don't have the time. I wish I did, but oops, we can't look at that page yet. Sorry, guys. That shows things you're not allowed to see. Nobody saw that, right? God, I am useless. I am useless. Surprised they still let me out. Okay, so here is this. Is there ever a plan? No, there's very rarely a plan. Very rarely. Didn't you stencil almost every room? Oh my God, Diane, that's crazy. So I have one. Remember when I was making this little tiny collages? I have one of those I kind of wanted to put in here too in this page. I just really liked this one and had never used it, so I think I'm going to add it in as well. I might wait a little bit longer. And oh, where did the other hunk go? I had torn some. Well, here's one piece. I had torn this vintage wallpaper. Oh, here it is. I thought it would be really pretty in the background. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to put it over here. Hope everybody's going to make some art today, right? It's going to make your Monday so much better if you do. You're all going back through the... Oh, Beverly, you're evil. Not really. Oh, shoot. All right, so Patty was going to scold me. Okay, so next Monday is President's Day, and it is, I'm going to have friends in the studio with me, so I'm very much looking forward to it. I don't know what will crop up, but I have a feeling it's going to be a fun day, so I hope you're all for sure with us next Monday. And I am very much looking forward to that. You know, I have an enormous collection of vintage wallpaper, and I do not use it as much as I should. For me, it's kind of fallen into that that category of hoarding, you know, my vintage wallpaper. I get very excited about it, and then I'm afraid to like bust out and use it. And I need to break myself of that and not feel so precious about the, ruh-roh, George. Oh, that one wanted to be torn. You could just tell, right? Look at it. It tore itself practically. If you're wondering, I'm using a baby wipe on top. I'd like smoothing out the top of the collage surface with some baby wipe. I feel like it just adds a little, you know, a little something, something. These are from one of my ATC stencils. I think the number 2 ATC group that I did, and I saw them this morning and I thought, I really like these little stencils. I know, Gina, sometimes when I buy things, this is going to sound like idiotically self-indulgent, but I'm just going to be honest with you. Sometimes I buy 2 of something so that I will have the freedom to use one and then to allow one to be hoarded. I mean, if it's like a singular paper or something, I will so often do that. This is a little piece of tissue. Isn't that cute? It's so funny how the things that we deem as little precious things, well, Mom, look at that. That's a tiny little piece. I guess we'll put that in a tiny little place. Goodness gracious. All right, that is drying. Now, since I want that to stay put, like that color, what I'm going to do is take some matte medium, because I don't want that blue to go away. And I'm going to put a little bit of matte medium on my tool and just try to ever so gently. I am barely touching it. Okay? And that will protect it. Look at that. There you go. So, because sometimes it's like, I really like that, but I mean, you saw how it did that the minute I touched it with water. So if I touch it with paint, you know, 5 minutes from now, I don't want that to blur out or go away or wipe it off or any of those things. You know, I want to keep it. So now look at this. How did this happen? You guys, really? Say what? What? I must have gotten some red paint on something. I'm wearing this old red sweatshirt of mine. I swear, I don't know if you guys are the same, but I buy the cheapest clothes I can find. Because what's the point, right? I got paint on everything. Joyce, can you tell me the difference between chalk gesso and regular matte medium? Well, I don't know, because I don't know what chalk gesso is. Are you talking about just gesso? Matte medium, okay, let me just talk about matte medium. Matte medium is, I'm going to read off the back, 100% acrylic medium for extending paint and collage. Dried film has a toothy, translucent, wax-like appearance. So it's a glue, it's a paint extender, it's just a lot of different things. And I love matte medium, because if there's just one product you're going to get, I mean, it is the bomb, right? It really, you can use it for so many things. And the chalk, I think you're maybe just talking about any gesso. Gessos are generally, if you're talking maybe about a clear gesso, it's going to be super, super toothy. And so you're definitely going to feel a toothy effect with clear gesso. For years, I never bought clear gesso. I just used matte medium anytime I needed something like that. I have bought clear gesso lately. I can't remember why. And, you know, I like it too. It does have a lot of tooth, though, and you may or may not like that. The matte medium does not have all the tooth, for sure. So that is a huge difference. All right, this is another one out of that ATC batch. I love floor plans and architectural features. You know, Ann Barnes has done some stuff like that for us, and I have too. Well, now that one is totally non-effective, where pink on top of pink, really. But I'm going to just leave it, all right, because, you know, I'll probably work over it. I'll put it over here. Why I'm not using sponges, I don't know. There, you can see a little bit more of the stencil there. That's good. I think I will use a little bit of this tissue, probably right over here where I just did that, because I'm not so in love with that. Now, I am using my glue stick to glue most of this stuff. I could be using the matte medium as well. So, you know, you don't have to buy all the products. You can just really do journaling or any of these mixed media things with such few products, honest to God. And just because I show a lot of products doesn't mean you have to use them every time. What I'm attempting to do as I give you guys demos is give you options. I'm attempting to show a spice rack of opportunity with respect to supplies. And that is literally the way I think of it. I think of these supplies as my spice rack for art making. And I don't use every supply. in every journal or anything. So it's just options. And some of the supplies, the pencils and markers and so forth, I use largely for travel because that is what, in my mind, they lend themselves to. What? Not buy all the products? That's crazy talk. Yes! Janine, you funny girl. I know, I do. I seriously do probably own all the products. And I do love them, but I just don't use them all the time. I use some of the products some of the time. And so I think that's why I like doing these demos, is showing you different things, and maybe you'll think, oh yeah, I've got that in my stash. I should pull that out and take a look and see. So really, the chalky gesso. Okay, thanks for that, Amy. I haven't seen it, and I didn't know what it was exactly. So cool. I'm going to put my little number in here. And I lost my collage bit. So this is kind of fun. I'm using, oops, one of my bits is coming off of this. Let's glue it back on. All right. I'm using some different equipment, and I can see my art on the monitor in a different way than I've been able to see it before. Yes, yes, yes. The dollar store does have some great things for sure. I would say there's lots of things I get at the dollar store. One area I probably don't scrimp so much on is paint. I really think paint quality is important, and I really prefer to have an artist grade in most instances. I really do. But other things, oh my God, for sure. Oh, it looks like a cityscape. Well, thanks. I love that idea. I'm gonna see if I can trim this. I'm trying to finish this journal. Look, I've only got a few pages left. It's always so fun to finish a journal and then to start a new one, you know. I can't wait. So I'm all pumped up about that. All right, let's see what else we have here that I decided to bring. Oh, I do want to use, this is another part of a wallpaper, and it says join here. I don't know if you all can see that, but this is my ode to love, and I love that when it says on those old vintage wallpapers, join here. Because to me, what that makes me think of is we will join together, this couple, in matrimony. I mean, that's what that means to me. It might not mean that to you, but that's how we develop our symbology, is to pay attention to these repeated things in our lives. And this has always meant that to me. Every time I see that phrase, join here. I have done a lot of custom collage work through the years, a lot. In fact, I just did a piece recently, a commission for a couple. It was a wedding gift, and I put a join here, a little vintage component in there, kind of hidden, so that they could look at that, and hopefully it might make them think of their marriage vows also. So I do like how this is coming. I do. I'm gonna get a few other edges here, and I'm gonna add some paints around the edge. This morning I was looking at all of the student work that the students have done on Wanderlust, and oh my goodness, so great to see what people are doing. Oh yeah, you should for sure make them something, Amy. I love memorializing weddings with you know, custom collage. It's so fun for me to do that kind of work, to do the hunt, the thrill of the hunt, and finding things that are significant to both couple, to both of the members of the couple, and maybe perhaps things from their childhood or whatever. I just love doing that, and I enjoy that type of collage quite a bit. All right, I think I'm going to put some of my little dots in now. Again, I still have some over here, but I think I'm going to put some over here. What I'm going to do, and this is what I will often do, I have collage part, collage part, collage part, background. So I'm going to put this over here, and I'm actually going to use one of these tools this time. And I'm going to stencil over all of those three collage components. And this is my idea of integration. So it's very subtle, but I think it makes a difference. And then I will go over here and do the same thing and take it to the edge. So there's a lot of little things I do that I have a very specific reason for doing them. So anyway, here we are. I think we're doing pretty good. I want to put a rub-on here, and I know you guys are going to want to know what these are. So this is the brand 49 and Market, and teal and mango rub-on transfers, and they are gorgeous. Look at these. They look like little doilies. They're so pretty. And anyway, they're just so cool. It's not a spoon, Tracy. It's that little brush thing. It's not a spoon, goof. That's cute, though. Great idea. You know, I'm going to put some more of these up here. I need to find an area that has dried down enough for me to lay this down. Oh, look, it has some splats like my, I can kind of preview it around, and I might put that, I think I'm going to put it on top of the join here. It comes with, these rub-ons come with a little thing to rub them on. I got this set from Beach Flea Market on Etsy. Anne is a friend of mine who I've met at some shows and stuff, and I adore her. I think Kristen, oh, look at that. Look at that, you guys. Wow. Do they work them? I mean, do they work or not? They are just awesome. There's little hearts on there. I didn't realize that. I'm telling you, people, it's all synchronicity. Synchronicity. Oops. Get that part down there. Kristen has this brand too. I don't know if she has these particular ones. So I just thought it would be really pretty. I like the idea of little doilies. Aren't they sweet? Yeah, spoon does work for rub-ons. You're right. That's at first what I was thinking that Tracy meant. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't have a spoon, but it would work great. And I'm going to put this one up here. And then I think I'm going to call you guys, say goodbye, because I am taking way too much of your time today, and I sure don't mean to be. There we go. Uh-oh, this one's coming off too. No, because I had wet paint under there. Okay, I got it back. Oh, I just am very happy with this, guys. What do you think? I'm going to put a tiny little heart down here. And I may putter around a little bit more with it later, but for now, I think it's really nice. Okay, it's called Beach Flea Market, like the beach, the ocean and the beach. And then this is 49 and Market is the name of these rub-ons. So, anyway, you could, if you Google 49 and Market, you might be able to find them who knows where, but it's called Beach Flea Market, guys. And tell Anne I sent you. She's a delightful person who she used to set up like at retreat stores, at retreats I went to, and it was so nice to have a little store like that right there at the retreat. If you were teaching and you needed little doodads, you could run down there and get them. It was so cool. So thanks so much, you guys. Please make time for self-care today. Take care of yourself and do it by making art. It'll feed your soul in so many ways. And oh, Seth sells this brand too. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Laura, for adding that. And her name is Anne, Beach Flea Market. So thanks, you guys. Everybody take care and have a wonderful, wonderful day.